How you doing? We're back with Ace Attorney doing a part 2 investigative situation. It's so weird. It's super weird. It's the first time this has happened. So, ready to keep on investigating? Also, do you like my shirt? I believe in Miles Edgeworth. Paid for by Miles Edgeworth. I found it in a box. I missed the shirt. I've had this shirt for so long. I had this shirt when I was like a teenager. It's back. It's back, baby. Back and in time for appropriately themed game. So, let's go. Let's do our investigating and save Maya. Yes. It's been a minute for me, but I'm excited to be back. March 22nd, 9:14 p.m. Gate Water Health. We still haven't eaten. That's all I remember. Oh, I remember more than that, but that's a main thing I remember. It's past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? Pearl needs to have some, like, a juice or something. I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. These things take time. I'd say probably not. There's no way. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. You're right. Pearl! So the real person who killed Mr. Carita was that assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right? And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who was his client? You mean, who asked for the murder? That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Yeah. I can't imagine doing this. They get people like a... I don't think this was a show. I saw this thing where like this guy, he had to dress up to be like a... he dressed up to be like a hitman. And then he put up like an ad on like a Craigslist or something, being like, yo, I'll kill your spouse if you don't like them. And like all these like women were like, yo, kill my husband, I hate him. And then, it was kind of like To Catch a Predator, right? Then they go into his car, they like meet in the parking lot, and then they get in the car. And then they're like, oh my god, yeah, I don't like him, kill him. And then they get that on recording and they're like, you're going to jail. And that was like the sting operation. It was just a lot of these ladies who I don't know why they don't divorce. But, yeah, it was an interesting show. Anyway, I don't know where I saw that, but I saw it. Who? Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews? I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself? Yeah, no. We already established she's, like, not gonna do that. There's no way. I can't comment too much on who this client is, because I remember who the client is, so I cannot tell you. I cannot say. But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then... No, it can't be. Are they gonna figure it out right now? Girl, they figure it out! They figure it out so fast! Like, they put the... I guess, to be fair though, who else is alive right now? We have our little cast of characters. We're not gonna add a new character in. We already know the butler is the killer because, you know, his face, but also the door. Who else would it be, right? I guess it's not that big of a mystery. Was it Matt? If Mr. Angard really did hire the assassin, then he is not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime. But it can't be Mr. Angard, right? I mean, when we first talked with him... Mr. Angard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Carita? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone, and that includes Juan Carita, okay? I didn't see any Cyclops at the time. Actually, that reminds me. Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Yes, I don't know why I say Mr. Nick. I do that all the time. I don't know why. For some reason. Mr. Nick. Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. Okay, what's it? What's this? So, what is this interesting thing? Oh, that's right. You didn't hear it, did you, Pros? No. Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he'd lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had it in his hands, a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Nah, I don't know. I don't remember the secret. I don't know. Mr. Angard's secret! What is his secret? I don't know yet. But for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Kurita was going to reveal his secret. That means Mr. On Guard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Kurita silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. On Guard. There's no way around it now. Oh, we're going to do that now? Okay. How long is this second investigation? Like, I'm so surprised we have a second... I mean, we've already talked about this, but like... We need more information. This is not a bad thing. It's just kind of weird. Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? What time do 8-year-olds go to bed? I feel like now. We need to get her food. Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already, but we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of the secret Mr. Kurita held about Mr. On Guard. Like, when you get on the train, go get, like, a food. Give her food. I know you're busy, but food is important for a baby. Like, Nick doesn't have to eat. Whatever, I don't care. I'm not trying to take care of his stuff. Pearl needs to eat, Nick. And Miss Andrews has real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight. Aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. Oh, yeah, frig. We're gonna go... He's not gonna be home, right? Man. What are we gonna do? I didn't even think of that. You. Hey, wait! What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. I don't like that sentence. Just like now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. The heck is that? The thingy we just used in the last VOD. It's been a bit for me. I forgot the name. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? Yeah. The one Gumshoe made. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. But the request came from Edgypoo, so... Edgeworth! And he said... If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So, I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you. Gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. That's good. This is absolutely top secret, so you had better keep it to yourself. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Very interesting. I'm sure it was, you know. It was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing with Miss Andrews. But I'm sure she must have had a reason for getting close to Mr. Kurita. I'll let you in on another secret, youngin'. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious, puffy-haired photographer girl. The nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself. As if I wouldn't want to see it for myself, too. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. That's not good. Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change. I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet that it's nothing good. I didn't say anything. She can read your mind. So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? It's fine. I'm blocking, but it's fine. Actually, as I hear it, there were something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh. I'll tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know? That manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impacts. Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know? Oh, I don't know. That's sad. Married? You mean to Mr. Kurita? Really, you youngin' kids don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember this at all. That's sad. 3 days after their marriage announcement. What in the... Okay, I don't know if this is right. So I feel like it's okay for me to say it, because I am just guessing. What if the secret of, what's his name? Oh my god. The red-haired doofus boy. That boy. Name? Matt. What if Matt... But I don't know why he would do this. Maybe it wasn't a suicide. And like Matt was somehow involved. And then Juan found out and was like, you And then he's going to expose that. I don't know why he wouldn't go to the cops, but, you know, whatever. Maybe something like this. I don't know. Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but... Grand announcement session? Well, maybe it's like celebrity people do this kind of thing. I don't know. 3 days later, Juan suddenly canceled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazine? But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. I see. Oh, man. There's so many, like, we need a lot of information from people who are not alive anymore. The night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager, Celeste, killed herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. What the heck did happen between those two, though? I have more questions than answers. Also, I hope we're not supposed to be showing anyone anything. We just started. I feel like that doesn't happen till later. But I'm trying to make my way out of this place. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. Looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Okay. I want to try to go to the... Oh, here, this one. Shoo! Shoo, where are you? Shoo! Shoo! No, not even Shoo is here. It looks like no one's around. I just like how we just show up to a random person's home. Like, I know it's Ace Attorney, but it's hilarious to me. Like, knock knock, we're coming in, no one is here. What happened to that stuffed... What happened to the person with the stuffed teddy face? Why do you say that? Don't say it like that. Oh, she must mean the butler with the stitches in his face. I don't know anything about this, but I have opinions. Would it really? Would you? If you had some injury that went jump, would it really just be like an even stitch all the way around, even on your nose? Like, wouldn't part of your nose be cut off? Not to get gross, but do you know what I'm saying? I know it's just aesthetically, this is how they drew him, but I'm just curious. Shoo! See? Pearl knows what's up. Shoo! Shoo is here. Oh, there you are. I guess you're still awake, huh, Shoo? Shoo. This is the best. Come on, let's play. We don't give her food, but at least she gets cat time. Good for the soul. Cat time. I wonder if that butler, Mr. Doe, is already asleep or not. How did we get in this house? Whatever. It's very odd to me that Pearl is gone now. Oh, not that. Can we look at the door again? Maybe it doesn't matter. No, it's the same. It's for the cat. You mean Shoo. Okay, well, I guess this is nothing then, eh? This is nothing? Where do we go now? Where do we go now? Do we go home? Before we go home, we'll go here. It's worth! It's worth! If I call for Shoo and Shoo showed up, it's worth! It feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. Oh, you're Mr. Engarde's lawyer, right? Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. Oh. Huh? A real decisive witness? A decisive witness, you mean, for the Engarde case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who is this witness? I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick. Between the kidnapper's demands and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. Well, can't he tell me himself? He did. Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center. Oh, isn't this convenient? Isn't this convenient? Oh, when the story requires it, Edgeworth can just whip out the magic. He wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go. What the? I've already called them, so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. This is such good news, Mr. Nick. Go talk to your heart's content. It sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Yeah, isn't it weird that they're telling us all this stuff? Because, you know, You know how it is. They usually don't tell you anything. They don't want you to know anything. So, whatever. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mr. Engarde and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Nah. Let's start with Matt. Let's start with Matt, because... Let's start with Matt. We might not... never mind. Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Ask your question in a different way. Ask your question in a different way and see if those locks pop up. Edward just dropped a bombshell on me by saying... There he goes with his phone. That Juan Carita was killed by an assassin, and that the assassin's client is... this man. Matt Engarde. What's wrong? Mr. Engarde, there is something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kind of different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer self, dude. I said that wrong, but that's fine. You understand what I'm trying to say. About the press conference. You mean the one where Juan was going to dress up as a nickel samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It was in this order, but now I'm wondering... I feel like we should have talked to her first, but it's fine. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Could you please fill me in on what the secret is, please? Oh, okay, well, we're getting a lock somewhere, huh? Ara, there's so many. Then we're gonna spend the whole investigation time breaking these then, eh? I knew this was coming. Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Cyclops. You said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what that is. It is. Do you, dude? Okay. Did you know about Mr. Carita and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it was all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Carita. Her mentor was Miss Carita's manager. I said Miss Carita again. I don't know why I'm doing this. And Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste's impact suicide note from him. Celeste. Does that jog any memories? If he... Oh, I was going to say, if he has locks on this one too, I'm going to riot. Dude, I suddenly got totally hungry. You up for pizza? My treat. I want a whole box from you. We share it with Pearl. Not you don't get to eat it. What kind of pizza topping do you think Pearl would like? What do kids... Cheese or pepperoni? The kids are one of those I was to camp cheese. Now I'm black olive, baby. Black olive all the way. Mr. Nick? Oh my god, she doesn't know pizza! What's a pizza? Is it like a kind of pea? Like a green peas? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is not okay. Let's go eat one later, okay? Yeah, we get her a pizza. I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? This guy drives me crazy. This guy is so annoying to me. It's like, answer the question or say, I don't want to answer it. Don't be doing this kind of goofball stuff, wasting my time, Mr. Engarde. Are you connected to this impact suicide in some way? He has to be, ne? I think he killed her. Killed her or hired someone to kill her too. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But he's I don't like it. Wait, shoot, now what do I do? Not this one. Maybe we move and we come back? Let's go office and then come back here. And then do Adrian's, because I don't know how to flip them without leaving. It doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Well, he's out there with that camera asking around at the electronics store. Then I'll make some salad for... God, when the 8-year-old is cooking for everyone, that's just like, get it together, adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Salad! Make me a salad too, Pearl. We'll make it together. Then I'll make some salad for him for dinner. Looks like Pearl really appreciates what Gumshoe is doing for us. Mr. Nick? Yes? Where is the lettuce? I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before. I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before? Oh my god. Feeny? Aw, I guess I have to give up on making a salad then. What do you think this was in Japanese? Was it really salad? What was it? Guess the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. I've had well, it's like a pasta salad. That doesn't really count as a real salad. But when I don't have salad, I still try to eat salad. Sometimes it's just carrots and tomatoes. It's not really salad either. I will take whatever vegetable I have and just put it in a bowl, and that's my salad. So, the pasta salad is good. But I usually at least have like a butter lettuce or the iceberg lettuce. Butter lettuce is my favorite though. Butter lettuce is so good. Or I'll need a purple one. Purple ones are good too. What's up, Pearl? Oh, we already talked. We can talk here too, but okay, hold on. We are here, so you know what time it is. Oh, I'll water it. It's okay. Gumshoe already gave it more than plenty earlier. Oh god. Waterboarding Charlie, come on. The watering can. Where are you, Mr. Watering Can? Pearls gets too wound up if she's not doing something to distract herself. Typhoon Pearls, we already read this, but it's fine. We have to take the... Oh, she's so cute. We have to take the plant out to pee. Oh, how does he do that if he's in the office building, though? Maybe the tray. You have, like, a plastic tray under to catch the pee. Alright. Because that thing's gonna be, like, just water everywhere, so everyone's freaking watering it today. Okay, what's up, Miss Andrews? Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour. But there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was mad. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Garita had on Mr. On Guard. Okay, let's talk. What else is gonna happen to us, though? Like, I feel like we went everywhere, right? Whatever. I'd like to ask you about Matt On Guard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. I was gonna say something, but I changed my mind. You seem to bear a lot of resentment toward Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. Can you let me determine, though, baby? Please. About Miss Celeste Impact. I had finally put her death behind me. Celeste Impact sounds like a drag name. You know what I mean? That's like a drag name. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. It is hard, man. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide, and it's true that when I heard the rumor that one was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back, and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid. Suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. I also wonder if it wasn't real. Like, I wonder if somebody else wrote it or something. Man, I don't know. Why did you try to frame Mr. On Guard? That's simple. Because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? But there had to be another way. The police are excellent and they're doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? I don't know, though. In this game, we've kind of proven that a lot of the times they don't figure it out. Or they already have, like, preconceived idea. And then they're like, yeah, you did it. You're guilty. And then we have to fight that. So, yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. I mean, I was kind of... Okay. Miss Andrews! Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without reason. So please, tell me why did you did what you did. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now? Oh my god, she's got it too? She's only got one. A psyche lock, huh? Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy. But... I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say, revenge. Do we have something to break that? I don't know if we do. Okay, we don't. I really don't think we do. So, Edgeworth! Help me! I need more information, please, and thank... Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. You! Mr. Powers! I wasn't expecting you here. What happened? Why are you here? You see, I got roped into this somehow. What? And now I'm going to testify tomorrow's trial. Oh, it's you? Eh? Oh, I did not think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be somebody else. I don't know why I thought that, though, but whatever. So, the decisive witness is Mr. Powers? I was talking with the detective until a little while ago, and I was on my phone, on my way home, when all of a sudden, you there! You're under arrest! And I was brought back here. Oh. He said my face and whole self in general looks suspicious of something. This is called profiling? Like, this is not good. Don't do that. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on a kids exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? No, baby. I like your little dainty little handkerchief. It's very cute. So, about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I don't really know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, and especially not that lawyer, he said. And he's right there, watching this conversation. Who do you think that lawyer the detective was Pearl! I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick, Mr. Kamaya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world. But it's alright. Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? You have Edgeworth. Well, right now you hate him, but you always have Edgeworth. What is Feeney's life like on the weekends? Like, does he go out? What does he do? Does he just stay at home, play video games? Like, what does he do? I can't imagine it. He's not cooking for himself, that's for sure. This is going to do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. What was his mom like? Somehow, I feel like he's getting in trouble a lot. That kind of kid. Mom is always kind of nagging him. And he's like, whatever, Mom. He should have listened to his mom, because I feel like he gotta get together. Because he's got that refreshing, like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself. What? How horrible! That's unforgivable! Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know? Miss Adrian Andrews. I think it's more than just her that wouldn't swoon over him, but, you know, whatever. Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic? You know, I think there's other lesbians in the world. You see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. And even if you're not, it's like... No, man. You're not attracted to everybody. You can't be attractive to everybody. That's not how it works. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image! But aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. This, don't sell yourself short like this, somehow. It feels bad. But it's okay, really. I don't think it should be okay, baby. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Like, you don't have to sell yourself short like that, you know? Maybe you're not like a spring breeze Matt on guard, but like, I don't know. Like, you're nicer than him. So, that's important. That's more important. Well, that's true. Oh, hey. So did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide? You mean Miss Impact's? We've been talking about that with, like, everybody. We heard something about how her wedding was canceled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Okay. Mr. Powers is so charged up that his skin is practically glowing electricity. What is he, Pikachu? Pikachu? Hey, so have you heard this? Yeah, tell me. Celeste left a suicide note. And they say that one went and hid it. We heard about that in the court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Yeah. Something bad for one, that is. Something bad for Mr. Karita. Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends, and she said, "It looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man." Oh. A truly insidious man? Did she mean Mr. Karita by that? Did she mean Mr. Karita, or did she mean Matt? You know what I'm saying? It could have been Matt. Like, maybe? Maybe, nah. I don't know though. I don't know. But maybe, if we're going off of Matt's own statement of no woman can turn, like, say, not swoon over him or whatever. So, if that's true, what if she had an affair with Matt? And then Mr. Kurita, one, was like, yo, I'm not gonna marry you. Like, that's not cool. And then cancel the marriage because of that. And then in the note, something happened. I don't know. But maybe something like that. Maybe. I could see it. And then she was talking about Matt. Like, maybe Matt was, like, making her life hell. Was like, yeah, have an affair with me. And then he used that to, like, blackmail her, do terrible things. And she was talking about Matt. I think so. Something like this. I think so. And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info. Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. On Guard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. There's still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. I was gonna say, I don't think we're ready to go over there, though, baby. We barely got any information. Mr. Nick, your phone! Look at that old phone. Hey, that's a Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds like kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble now, pal! I'll be back at the office real soon. What's wrong? Is something really unexpected just happened? Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth? Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal! I don't know what's going on anymore. It's so good out of the... Hello? He got cut off. What's going on? Mr. Nika? Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right now. Okay. Then we should hurry back. I'm scared to go back. What are you talking about? Mr. Nick, pull yourself together. Maybe it'll be a good news. Bro, read the room, bro! Bro, read the room! That's embarrassing. Somehow, I doubt that. I'm moved by the sudden vulnerability of Feeny saying, like, I don't want to, and, like, feeling scared. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick around forever and had to go. No! Well, what happened? We could have made him a salad, too. We got him! Oh, we know who bought the spy camera. Oh, it is good news, nah? Here I was razzing, what's-his-face? And he was right all along. This quickly! The bear is what gave them away, pal. The bear. I figured it out, pal. I figured that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. Oh, Edgeworth. Well, that's fine. But wasn't that Mr. Edgeworth? I figured... Shh, Pearls. Shh. And go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. He's doing like this all the time with that freaking chest. Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Matt on Guard. Yo, it looks so bad right now. It's bad. Huh? Matt on Guard, your client. That's who, pal? And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. They can always get worse, Sweeney. Are you sure you heard right? That person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. God, this looks so old, too. It's forms and stuff. Oh, it's $3,800? I believe it. Actually, I don't know why I act like that. I believe it. I bet it's more expensive now. This game's super old. They have those, like, $1,000, like, stuffed animals for, like, rich kids and stuff. They have them at Target. They're like hundreds of dollars, and they're not that big, but they're, like, fancy. Like, who the hell's buying it? I don't know. If it were cheaper, I would buy it, though. They're big. Big. I want one. Yeah, the giraffe. I like it. The receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not just the receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He told me, I'm sure I sold that bear to Mr. Ungard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. Ungard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. Ungard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. Is Feeny okay? Feeny's like on the verge of a mental breakdown. It's because he didn't eat! Well, and also stress, but I'm just saying, if you ate, that would help the situation, yeah? Especially salad. You gotta eat healthies. Yeah. Feeny needs to take better care of himself just as a whole, the whole package. It's too much stress. This situation is hard, though, mate. So, what about the spy camera we found? Ah, that was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you for the fight. Okay, thank you. We're gonna need this. Are we gonna need this for breaking the locks, though? I don't know. I don't know how. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Corrida's room was Matt on guard. Why would Mr. On Guard do something like this? I think we use this receipt to kind of push... that has to come into play with one of the things for breaking Matt, right? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Corrida in one of their rendezvous. I bet is not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. It's super creepy if people do stuff like that, though. Like, ugh. Are you going to see him? Mr. On Guard, I mean. Yes. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for Pearls. Matt On Guard, what in the world have you done? I think it's okay to tell children you are scared too, but you can't just be like, yeah, I'm terrified. You can say, it's scary, I feel scared too, but we're gonna figure it out together, or I'm gonna take care of you. I think you balance it, because it's important for kids to know that adults also feel feelings. It's normal to feel scared in this situation. That's okay. What do we do though, man? I'm gonna go back here. The game was really forcing me to go back here, but we cannot break him completely, man. You're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 p.m., dude. Okay, you know what? I don't want to hear your sass. We didn't even get to eat. We didn't even get your pizza. I think it's time you told me the truth. Stop wasting my time. Relax. Don't you know that ignorance is bliss? Oh, girl, what kind of job do you think I have? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Who's falling for this doofus? That's all I'm saying. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Wait. Okay. Do you think I should just no. Let's not be stupid. Wait, shoot. Let's not be stupid. Does this work? I have to present the Magatama, right? This isn't gonna work, or is it gonna work? It is gonna work. Just kidding. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult my lawyer, okay? Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. Oh, hey, Mr. Lawyer, dude. This is the kind of stuff that I just... Like, is this what he does with women? What does he do? How does he get women swooning? Because this kind of behavior makes me want to punch him in the face. This is so annoying to me. Sorry, but you know, dude, I really just don't have any idea, okay? I really didn't care at all about what Juan was up to, okay? Okay, I screwed up. I screwed up, and I screwed up, and I'm sorry. I apologize. Just start. What I'm hoping is we use one piece of information. We can learn more something, and then we'll back out of the rest of this. Hoping that's an option. Now, let's hear what the secret of yours is. What if Mr. Corrida had been successful with his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude. I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on. I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me! Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Corrida, especially on that night. Okay. Oh, we only have 2 health! Oh, jeez. Desu ne. The receipt! I need the receipt! I needed the receipt! Did we get the receipt? Whatever. This bear was in Mr. Corrida's room on the night of the murder. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. So, it's a present, dude. It actually looks kind of classy. Oh, God. It's quite expensive, which is... Oh, okay. Okay. Which is why it was very odd this gadget was found inside the bear. Do we have the receipt? We do. But maybe I would have screwed up. This game feels like I was rewarded for doing that, so here. So scared all the time. This is a very small video camera. And it was hidden inside this bear's eye. Maybe it's a really curious bear. Oh this guy. Well, whatever this bear saw was sent somewhere using this transmitter. Which means someone on the night of the murder was secretly filming Mr. Kurita's room. Oh, we already got one. I didn't even have to present the receipt yet. I guess one had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Super creepy. Don't ever do this to somebody. Like, I shouldn't have to even say that, but that's super creepy. Don't be like that. Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. It was a present from you! You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Kurita was... Oh, it was you. And then he's gonna be like, I need proof, dude. And then we show him the receipt. You, a present? Mr. On guard, don't you know this bear is from somewhere? I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude. Ah, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? Oh, Feeny, what are you doing? But okay. What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On guard. The thing he can weasel out of this so easily, because he could say like, okay, I bought the bear, but how do you know I was the one who put the camera inside? Like, I don't know, maybe some freak person went into their room and put it in there because it was a big bear. I don't know. Maybe he could try to weasel out of it. We'll see. We'll see. If I didn't know how you work in court, I think I was in some serious trouble. Come on, this is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up on your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? Here's proof that it was you who put the camera inside the bear. Is there going to be a way for me to get out of this when I eventually run out of evidence? Because I don't think we can break all of these today. Or right now. We're going to do it today, but... I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On guard. It's from when you brought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This $3,800. It could have been a toothbrush I brought one time. I hate this guy. A $3,800 toothbrush. It's ivory and it's got elephant hair for bristles. There's so much wrong here. I don't even know where to start. I just will say I'm filled with rage. Ew, elephant hair? That's what you're getting hot up on? Now that it's made out of ivory? And not that he's just flaunting his wealth in a horrible way? Girl. But, oh, okay, fine. Whatever. Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway! The store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? He doesn't remember that. Dude, you should have said so earlier. Okay. So can I ask you one thing? Yes. You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set this camera up yet. And what your secret is. Of course, it would be strictly confidential. So, what are you gonna do? Now? I don't know. I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Kurita's room and filmed it in secret is... Oh, God. That's the romance thing, right? I'm so scared, though. This, right? Just make sure we don't have any... Yeah, it has to be this. Hold on, let me check it. Just to make sure. This. It's this. It's this. Present. Okay. Agent Andrews. There's a rumor going around. Are we gonna break all these right now? That Miss Andrews and Mr. Kurita were having secret meetings. You who was keeping tabs on Mr. Kurita, you were going to reveal this fact and turn it into a scandal, isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a moron. Huh? Oh man, Mr. Lawyer dude, that kind of scandal? That's the good stuff. That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff? Juicy? Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stop paying attention to us, then it'd be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent, but it wasn't. You didn't spy on Mr. Kurita because of Mrs. Andrews. then there's only one reason I can think for you to do such a thing. The real reason you set up the camera in Mr. Kurita's room was... because you hired the murderer? Oh my god, what am I gonna freaking present for that, though? And if I lose, oh god, can I save? I cannot save! I cannot save! It's gotta be this, right? Because of the murder! I'm presenting it. It's wrong! It's wrong! The thing didn't go away, it's wrong! If I really wanted to set up a spy cam, I didn't save the whole time. I have to do everything over again. I wouldn't have set it up in Juan's room. It would be in your office, dude. Huh? My office? Well, dude, you're always saying really absurd things, right? It'd be like getting the Comedy Channel for free. Oh, dead. We're dead. Mr. Nick, if you push yourself anymore, your soul will shatter. Please calm down, collect your thoughts, and try again. I've made too many mistakes. Oh, thank God the game was nice to me. Oh, I'm so dumb. I bet it's this. It's gotta be that, right? I had to redo this section, but I'm glad I didn't really have to redo the whole game. So, what is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. A certain man's calling card. It has to be this. This man's name is Shelly the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer? That's ridiculous. How would I know somebody shady scumbag like him? No, you're getting awfully riled up, aren't you? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting jumpy all of a sudden? Yeah. This is it. I'm finally starting to understand. Get to the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Look, it doesn't matter. My health bar is like 0. My health bar? You want to see my health bar? My health bar? Look at that. That's sad. So literally anything can kill me at any moment. But, you know, whatever. I like to live on the edge. Mr. Vanguard. I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because you're a hero of justice. You're a star. You're his client. Okay, that was an easy softball, wasn't it? Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. What are the other two? What are the other two Cyclops gonna be? I'm assuming this will get one done, right? That means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So, how? How would you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelly the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Corrida. The real mastermind behind this... Oh, my pen dropped. That scared me so bad. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is... you, Mr. Matt on guard. Why, there's no Mr. It's fine. Why isn't the lock breaking? I'm stressing out. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. That was you being a good boy? You are not being a good boy. You need to, like, learn what that is. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought, anyway. Mr. On guard, you really did hire? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? I'm gonna smash that phone. Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Liar Dude. Oh, it fake you out, girl! This moment in time. This moment in time had the internet all ablaze, okay? I cannot emphasize enough how goofed, gagged the internet was. It's an interesting twist, isn't it? It is an interesting twist. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt on guard. What the hell is this drink? Where'd you get that? Why is it orange? Oh, thank God. I forgot that we get healed. That was very good. It's a good twist on it. It's a good twist. It's a good twist. Because you write this guy off. You write this guy off as, like, total goofball dummy. And then he ends up being this guy. It's very good. 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 It's good. What's up, Matt? Well done, Mr. Wright. People ship this one and the regular... The other Matt, they ship those like crazy online. That's why I remembered him right away. I was like, oh, it's you. It's you, that guy. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You are Shelley the Killer's client. You have such a cute cat and everything. I don't think Shu should live with you. You're a bad man. I can't decide if the hair looks better pushed back or... I think forward those look good though. You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? What do you mean? That woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself. Trying to stick a crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. What is that though? It's too dark to be beer. It can't be beer. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Don't you call her little girl. Don't you call her little girl. When Franzi does it, it's filled with love. When you do it, no. Don't talk to Pearl. Go on. Let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. But why? Why did you hide that video camera in? A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come on, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? Too much! Way too much, Nick. Way too much. And that's why? Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay, and I even blackmail him if I want. That's right, that video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Look at him! Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough of an answer for you. Don't talk to Pearl! Pearl is allowed to talk to you. You're not allowed to talk back to her. In any capacity. Don't even look at her. Bad. He's a bad guy. Bad. Why? Why would you kill Mr. Kurita? Pearl is really asking the questions here. Feeney's just sitting back. Pearl's doing his job. Because he was about to sling so much dung into my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Kurita had been able to give it, then Mr. Engarde's secret would have... Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit, it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Kurita ended up dead. Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. Somehow, though, that might be the thing. I don't remember how we take him down or any of this. I remember none of this. I just remembered that transformation. That's all I remember for the rest of this thing. Unless something else pops up in my mind. But this kind of attitude, people are simply things to be used and thrown away. I feel like we can use that to our benefit, or that's gonna be his, like, weak point. I feel like whenever there's guy who say stuff like that in these kind of a game and stuff like that, it's always like that's the... It's very Kingdom Hearts of you. You know what I mean? It feels like that. Put on a sweet, innocent face, and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it, the assassin, too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone all working their butts off for me, Matt on guard. I did fall for it, I won't lie. The first time around, I definitely fell for it. I had no idea. Aw, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. Don't talk to Pearl! I'm gonna punch you through the plexiglass. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived? How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Kurita. Because he said he hadn't killed anyone. But he set up plans to kill somebody. And maybe that's why we didn't see the psyche locks? That's what I thought. That's at least what I thought. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing, Yessie, was the killer, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Kurita. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Grr. Oh, but too bad you can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't, can you? That would mean one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya, You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You... scoundrel! This is such a bad situation, though. The drama is high. This freaking court, This story is very good, I think. It's very good. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it all my tomorrow. Give it my all tomorrow. Do we people say Mr. Wright, Esquire? I've seen that in, like, papers, but to say it out loud feels really awkward. Can you imagine you introduce yourself like that? Like, calm down. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliche phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how well things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Where'd you get that glass, bro? Where'd you get that glass? Maya, what am I supposed to do? Are we Maya-ing right now? Sometimes I feel like when he has those flashbacks, we go over there. Flashback when he thinks about her. And now. Now you finally found it. Oh, it's Edgeworth. I thought you were going somewhere else, but hi. Hi! The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. You can come over! We're eating salad! Oh, nah! This is bad! This is really... We are stuck in a pickle, aren't we? This is right. It's very exciting for me. It's very exciting for me. Well, right. What are you going to do? If you plan on changing your strategy. No! We can't do that! That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? Edgeworth, help me. That's not something I can answer for you. Mr. Edgeworth? Right. Only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I truly didn't understand what a prosecutor was, and that's why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, right, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. It's true. It's good. Narratively, that's good too. It like mirrors the first game, you know what I mean? Where now Feeney is the one that's kind of in the pickle. I mean, he's not being framed for murder, but you know what I mean? It's very, very good. The writing is very good in this game. I do like it. I mean, I think certain stylistic choices people may or may not like. Like, I like these kind of goofy character, exaggerated kind of character. But it's fun, it's fun, it's fun. I'm a lawyer. But to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. Man on guard. That man really, ugh. Doesn't matter who. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense, but what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Is that exactly how you have fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's... It's because I believed in my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get in guard and an acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all! Yeah, let's talk about Maya. I became a lawyer because I thought that I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in here, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if Edgeworth's right there! Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right. Would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone. That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? But we have actually saved quite a few people. Like, we have objectively helped save Edgeworth. Last game. You know what I'm saying? You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. People like you and Francisca von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict for a man I clearly know to be guilty. I could not do that either, but I could never be a lawyer just in general. I cannot. Francisca, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And, is that the same as you? Don't be so offensive, Feeny! What do you think happened to this poor boy? Do you think he's exactly the same as he used to be, or whatever? And he never was as bad as Von Karma. Like, girl, come on. Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You are so petty! I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. Because he has a wrong idea. It would hurt me! This would be so hurtful! Somebody think this and it's not even what happened. I would be crying. Edgeworth's crying inside. Probably not. However, you are mistaken. What do you? Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? What, is it that? Is it he almost got, like, sealed away forever for murder that he didn't commit when he was baby, had to relive trauma, and you think that didn't affect him in any capacity and he's still the same human? Like, come on, Feeny. That might be you, but that's not most people, Feeny. But then, why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. I believe in you, Edgeworth. It's on my shirt and everything. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story. Oh, God. Mr. Nick, the transceiver? I did it again. Nick! Why? I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My. What is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please. Why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Engarde's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? We're doing all of this in the freaking prosecutor's office. It just feels so, like, I don't know. Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and it is part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty. We were unlucky this time and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you will do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however. You did, but... My name is... The Killer. Shelly the Killer. We know, girl. Oh, Edgeworth didn't know. You're Shelly the Killer? I guess we didn't know either for asking the question. Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up with your end of the bargain... Maya! It would be my duty as an assassin to see that she receives a nice long nap. No! I feel like Pearl should not be here for traumatizing incidents like this, you know? Now then, if you'll excuse me. If someone were to trace the signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Shoo! We need to rescue Maya, and we also need to rescue Shoo. Because Shoo is too good of a cat. No cat deserved that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? No cat deserved to live in this kind of household. This is not safe for children, cats, no one. Mystic Maya! I don't know what to say. Edgeworth. Did you hear that? At the end of that transmission was a little meow meow. A little meow. Meow. Huh? Oh, that? It sounded like a cat. A cat? Oh, God, these doofus... Well, I shouldn't say doofuses, because they didn't see what we saw. They didn't know that the killer guy... No, but they saw him that one time, though, ne? At the hotel. Oh, Maya, you have a call for you. Something like that. And then, it's not like he looked like anybody, and he wasn't wearing some kind of mask. He didn't even put foundation over those little scars. Like, he has a really, really obvious scar on his face. And that's not ringing any bells? When we met the butler? I don't know, whatever. Maybe I'm being too harsh. A cat? It's It can't be! That cat! Can it be Shoo? It's Shoo. I love Shoo. Shoo is the best cat. What is it? I think I know where Shelly the Killer is holding Maya hostage! Edgeworth, have all the police units head for On Guard Mansion immediately. This is exciting. Alright, you hurry over there as well. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. Oh my god, this is exciting. I mean, I already know what's happening, but it's fine. We have to go here first? Oh, the music didn't follow us. I was hoping the music followed us. Shoo. Ah, something is in front of the door. The music should have followed us. It like cut the mood so much. Maya, I don't know if they know how to. I don't think that code was in the DS. You know what I mean? Please answer us, Mystic Maya. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. I bet she already was taken away. I bet they already moved her. It would be different if on that call with the killer we heard Maya in the background. I bet she's not here. I bet she's not here. I bet they took her and he's gone too. Aw, nah. Assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. He and On Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Wait, I want to examine Bear. This Bear. Bear. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear! Figurine of a... Oh, so it's hard, not soft. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. A wooden bear! Shape figurine. Cuts. I don't really know what to do with that. Do you think it was Mr. Kurita's bear? Why? A bear? Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right! Look down. There's a little pet door installed here. For Shoo! I'm sure that's for Shoo! Do you think that this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. You're a big boy! Smash it! If Feeny can take down that big door, we can take down this door, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors by now. Let's go! Teamwork! Couple goals! Breaking two doors together! Oh my god. Slam! Slam! Crash! Maya, maybe Maya left that for them. She could stick her little hand through. Because it was in this room. Why would it be in front of the door? She must have done that. Right? Ugh, there's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is On Guard's private lounge. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. Oh my god, that's right, they were on tape. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. They bet they took that. If we're lucky. It'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No. But there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. It looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. And Maya. Oh! There's something on the floor too. I bet Maya left that. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now, we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar! Finally, somebody thinks of the children around here. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leaves the rest to us. The district of Los Angeles, right? Isn't this supposed to be set in LA or some goofy thing like that? Maya! Take, look. How do I try to present that? That was the wrong button. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste. Miss Impax, you mean? Yes, Mr. Kurita's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here in Mr. On Guard's mansion? That's a great question. And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. Yeah. Ah! We have to go back and talk to Adrian. I was like, oh, the chapter's over. This is like so exciting. No. We have to talk to Adrian. We never broke that thing. What's wrong, Pearls? Please, let me see the picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back! There's something written on the back of the frame! Maya. It's Mystic Maya! She left us a message! What? We haven't seen her in a while, Nick. I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up, you better get on guard. A guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you ever. I'm fine, so don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for that helpless lunk. This is bad. Feeny, you need to you need to get it together. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. That's right. No! Mystic Maya! Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes. As far as clues goes, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Adrian. I just finished saying that. Miss Andrews' psych lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I can stand a chance in court tomorrow. To blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Oh, it just warps you here. I wanted to save, but that's fine. I better not mess it up. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. We've been working non-stop for like 24 hours, but... Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your psych lock. Why does he say that? That's so embarrassing! She don't know what that is? I want to know, and you will tell me your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Oh, thank you. Let me see. Let me see. Alright, let's do this. I'm so happy. Let me save, because I have one shot to do this. Why frame him? Could you please tell me why you framed Mr. On Guard for the murder? I've already told you countless times, it's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. On Guard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you're saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. What is it, though? Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people, just because she knows he killed her? I think she did get killed. Or, right, something like that. Maybe that was the affair thing? And she really loved Matt? Something? There is something, or someone, in her past that would make her take revenge. Oh, I'm not gonna die. That's right, I have half health. That makes me feel better. I'm gonna go with this, right? No. No, it's not. Okay. I feel like we don't have enough to make that jump yet. If that's even real, because I don't know if that's real. That maybe Matt hired him before. I don't think we have enough to stand. I'm gonna go Celeste. Okay. That was right. Celeste! Trying to not overthink it, but sometimes it happens. There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings, even revenge. And that's Miss Impact's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all of this have to do with Matt? You're right. You haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. On Guard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impacts and her suicide. Okay. Now, I think... Oh my god, it's 3. Well, it's fine. If I die, I die. I'm not as scared anymore. I think it's this. It is. This is a photo of Miss Impacts, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. What? God, they're wearing the same shirt? They look like they're wearing the same shirt. Adrian and this one. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's all right. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found it at Mr. Enguarde's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Okay. No need to fear yourself. Ha. Almost full health. If I didn't screw up, I would have gotten full health, I bet. I bet. It's fine. Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Kurita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because Mr. Enguarde? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. Oh, this kind of coupled me. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why. With love, Celeste, written on the frames of that picture. Frame. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that's where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. You see. So that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Kurita have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Wait, hold on a second. I'm totally misunderstanding the situation. So I had the impression that they had an affair, but you're telling me that she was in kind of a semi-abusive or at least toxic relationship with Matt. He threw her away and she moved on with this new person. And this new person was like, yo, I used to date your girl. And his male pride said, oh, I have to not see you anymore. What the hell is going on? Like, I don't have worthless male pride. So I guess it's harder for me to relate. I didn't grow up like that, so we'll take that into account. But I don't understand what's happening here. Like, if you really love the person, maybe you don't like that fact. Maybe you're like, ugh, this freaking guy, this ex is nasty, and I hate that they were ever together. That's very different than calling off your wedding. I thought she had done something that really wounded Juan. This was before she even knew Juan. What is happening? I just think that's not a reason. Or whatever, apparently it was a reason for him. That's just baffling to me. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. But like, she didn't know that. It's not like she went with Juan being like, yo, well, you're the rival and I want to get at Matt. I mean, I don't think she did that. You know, it would be different if she had some kind of weird alternative motive for getting with Juan, and Juan was like, I really love her, and then I found out she was only using me. Something like that, then fine, but this is weird, right? This is weird. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Impax. Yeah! That's the person who is the one that is... Like, was he mad that she never told him about her ex? I can't understand this. I'm really trying. It's just really hard. You can be mad. I'm not saying you can't be mad and like upset and hurt about it. Fine. But to be so upset that you cancel the wedding. Like you should be mad at Matt for being weird, not your freaking love of your life that you want to marry. That wasn't the end of it. Explain more, please. I need more information. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds, and so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. Why would he do that? It's to expose him later? Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt. Nah. And it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. I just feel like you're treating your fiance like some kind of a weird object. Like, oh, you wanted to eat that cookie? Well, I sneezed on it. And he's like, ew, gross, I don't want that cookie no more. That's literally what the situation is. And I just don't freaking understand. I cannot understand. I cannot understand this. I literally cannot understand this. I also feel like everyone has their own thing, so I don't want to be too judgy on this. But for me personally, I feel like things in the past are things in the past. She got out of that relationship, and hopefully she realized she doesn't deserve to be treated that way or whatever was going on there. I don't know. Grow as a person, hopefully. Then, if you have something kind of funky and weird in your past, I don't think that you should be held accounted for it if you have changed and grown and I don't know. And I just feel like in this situation, it wasn't like she was doing something weird with Matt. She was in a situation where he was taking advantage of her, at least according to Adrian, right? I don't know. This isn't some kind of huge scandal where she did something horrible and you're just like, oh my god, I don't know if I can look past that in her past or something like this. This is I was in a kind of bad relationship and you're like, yo, gross, and then you break up with her? I feel like I'm so surprised by this. I don't remember this at all. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. And at a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out all about I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. Yeah! Yeah! You lost your fiancé and you're just focusing on how you can hurt Matt. Bad. That night, when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on each other, after all. This feels like a odd, being really concerned and angry about some random dude. I don't know, it feels very, repressed feelings to me. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before I ever went public. I was going to burn it. I even had brought a lighter. Oh, man. But I couldn't find the suicide note. That's when the revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them to my own kind of cruel revenge. Somehow, the most sympathetic character in this situation, I feel like that's alive. It's freaking Adrian. Because Adrian really, really didn't want her friend to be exploited in this way, even after she died. And the whole situation is very... I just feel like nobody talked about how, wait, you broke up with your fiancé over what now? They didn't really touch on that aside from, worthless male pride. I don't even think that's male pride. That's just, another level of something bad. Something real bad. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, Even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? Why'd you say man like that? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Thank you very much for your time and talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. Can't sleep either. Not with Maya's situation, or with what I know now. This though, this this VOD, this chapter of the story is very good. Is very good. We got a lot of like really interesting point. The whole like Matt reveal is very, very good. This was very exciting. It was. So that's gonna do it for today. I hope you enjoyed. This was an exciting VOD, né? And it was a good way to kind of wrap up the last investigation that we're ever gonna do for the second part 2 of this game, né? I shouldn't call it part 2, game 2, né? So next time will be the trial. It will not be the last VOD. There's no way. I feel like since the investigation was 2 pieces, it's got to be at least 2 or maybe even more. I have no idea of the trial. It's gonna be a long one, but it'll be exciting to take. You know, we're gonna take Matt down. Maybe we'll take the killer down. I think we kind of have to, you know, since he was also involved. But Matt's bad. Matt's very bad. So we get justice for multiple people. We save Maya. We get justice for Impacts, who got wrapped up in a real bad situation. We get justice, I guess, for 1, 2, even though I guess that's the one main thing on trial. But yes, so until I see what I see you next, try to be kind to others, especially yourself. Take care and I'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye!